राम 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 जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री वेदांत श्री वसुदेव हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे
राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I didn't see that I is muted. 1 minute. You are able to see my screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just 1 minute. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. I will start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunj Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunj Bihari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Girivarudhari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Girivarudhari Gopijana Jayo Girivarudhari Jayo Girivarudhari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Girivarudhari Jayo Girivarudhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jayo Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tirabana Chari Yamuna Tirabana Chari Yamuna Chari Radha Kunj Bihari Yamuna Banachari Radha Ras Bihari Yamuna Banachari Radha Giri Barudhari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Jabihari Jaya Madhava, Jaya Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Premanam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to our Saturday morning Bhagavatam session. So today we'll recite, or today we'll discuss Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse 21. But before that, I seek all your big blessings. Please be merciful at me so that my words can please all of your ears, all the Vaishnavas who are not present here, and ultimately it can please the divine couple, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar and my Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for being here today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Narayanam Namaskritva Naran Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayat Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse 21. Tvam atmanatmanamavehi amoghadrik parasya pumsha paramatmanakalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava vyudayodhiganyatam. Tvam atmanatmanamavehi amughadrik parasya pumsha paramatmanakalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava vyudayodhiganyatam. May I request a few devotees to recite this verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tvam atmanatmanam avehi amoghadrik parasya pumsha paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhavo bhyudayo diganyatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else?
Yes, Mataji. Tvam atmanatmanam avehi amugadrik parasya pumsaha paramatmanah kalam Ajam prajatam jagatah shivayatan Mahanubhav Bhava Bhyodayo
Thank you.
Diganyatam.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any Mataji wants to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tvam atmanatmanam aveha amogatru parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata sivayatan mahanubhava pyudayo diganyatam.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. All your recitations made the verse more sweeter, although this verse is very sweet. I feel like that continuously singing and singing. Okay, let's start with the synonyms. Tvam, yourself. Atmana, by your own self. Atmanam, the super soul. So two times Atmana. So one time Prabhupada has translated as by your own self. That is like Jivatma, like saying like Vyasdev. So Jivatma and Atmanam again, the super soul. So Avehi, search out. Amoghadrik, one who has perfect vision. Padashya, of the transcendence. Pumshaha, the personality of Godhead. Padamatmanaha, of the Supreme Lord. So see here, Padamatmanaha, Prabhupada has translated as the Bhagavan feature, the Supreme Lord. So here, the Atmana, the super soul, and again, Padamatmana as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Bhagavan feature. Prabhupada has translated like this. I'm saying this because I'm going to a little bit discuss in our presentation today. So that's why I just wanted to point out that thing. Kalam, plenary part. Ajam, birthless. Prajatam, have taken birth. Jagataha, of the world. Shivaya, for the well-being. Tat, that. Mahanubhava, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna, Abhyudayaha, pastimes. Adhiganyatam, describe most vividly. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, more vividly. So this is the purport. May I request someone to read the purport for me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, sure.
Srila Vyasadeva is the empowered plenary portion incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He descended by his causeless mercy to deliver the fallen souls in the material world. The fallen and the unforgotten souls are detached from the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The living entities are part and parcels of the Lord, and they are eternally servitors of the Lord. All the Vedic literature, therefore, are put into systematic order for the benefit of the fallen souls. And it is the duty of the fallen souls to take advantage of such literatures and be freed from the bondage of material existence. Although formally Srila Narada Rishi is his spiritual master, Srila Vyasdeva is not at all dependent on a spiritual master, but because in essence he is the spiritual master of everyone else. But because he is doing the work of an acharya, he has taught us by his own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself. Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Rama, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all incarnation of Godhead, accepted formal spiritual masters, although by their transcendental nature they were cognizant of all knowledge. In order to direct people in general to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, he himself in the incarnation of Vyasadeva is delineating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanam Jeno Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Shayam Rupo Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnaveभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पथे गोपेश गोपिका कांतो राधा कांतो नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so today I'll first talk about a little bit about the context of the verse, and then the main themes and the deeper meaning of the verse, and then I'll give a little bit of summary in my own words and practical applications. So the context is that, as I mentioned, we are in Canto 1, Chapter 5, and today's verse 21. So the chapter is entitled Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. So the scenario is something like that on the bank of the river Saraswati, Vyasdev is sitting despondent. And at that time, his spiritual master, Narada Muni, appeared on the scene. So when Narada Muni appeared, the first verses, like first 1 through 7 verses, Narada Muni first inquires that how are you, why you are so despondent, and then Vyasdev responds, and then the second, that is the first part, first section of this chapter, and the second section talks about how Narada Muni reveals the importance of explaining Krishna's pastimes. And then the third section talks about Narada Muni narrates his past life. And the fourth section talks about how Narada Muni gives his final instructions or final advice to Vyasdev. To a little bit go further deeper in all the sections. So basically, when Narada Muni appeared on the scene, when Vyasdev was very despondent, at that point of time, Vyasdev already compiled all the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, everything, but still he was despondent. So Narada Muni inquired, like, what is the problem? So Vyasdev first welcomed his spiritual master properly, glorified, the spiritual master, and then admits that, yes, I am dissatisfied. And, oh Gurudev, you please detect that what is the root cause of my dissatisfaction. I don't know why. Although, like, Vyasdev knows like why he is dissatisfied, but it is like a Sishya's or like a disciple's duty to always humbly submit himself or herself at the lotus feet of spiritual master. So that's what Vyasdev is doing. That, oh Narada Muni, you say that what is the root cause of my dissatisfaction? And then from verse 8 to 22, what Narada Muni is instructing on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasdev, Narada Muni reveals that, yes, you are dissatisfied, O Vyasdev, primarily because of two reasons. Because you have not sufficiently glorified the Supreme Lord Krishna, and you have overemphasized the 4 Purusharthas. Then Narada Muni also starts talking about the 2 different kinds of literature, like materialistic literature, like crow-like, which are intended for like crow-like people, and then the transcendental literature, which is like intended for the swan-like people. And then 12 through 16, Narada Muni establishes the fact that bhakti means not karma mishra bhakti or jnana mishra bhakti, not that kind of bhakti. Only ananya or uttama bhakti is the only valuable asset. And he said that, Vyasdev, you should highlight that. And then 17 through 19, Narada Muni says that, so don't don't be fearful, don't hesitate, because even a little progress in bhakti path, there is no fall down. So there is no fall down in bhakti, there is no loss. So you do the preaching of Ananya Bhakti. Verse 20 to 22, Narad Muni instructs Vyasadev to glorify the Lord, that is Krishna, more vividly. So last week, we already discussed verse 20, Venumadhurya Prabhuji has very nicely discussed, where in this verse, it is said that, Narad Muni is saying that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is himself this cosmos or Jagat, but he is aloof from it. From him only the cosmic manifestation emanated, in him it rests, unto him it enters after annihilation. So that means what? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody is greater than or equal to Krishna. Then Narad Muni is saying that, yes, I have told all about this thing, like all about Krishna in Pradesha Matram. That is as an indication or a synopsis. Now your good self knows all about this. Or another meaning is that Narad Muni is saying that your good self is qualified enough of knowing this fact about Krishna. So here seeing that Narad Muni said that I have given you an indication, like a synopsis. So a similar incidents, like instance we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when in the Rupa Shiksha section, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was started giving instructions to Rupa Goswami, what he says? পাড়াপাড়ে শূন্য গভীর ভক্তি রস সিন্ধু তোমায় চাকাইতে তার কহি এক বিন্দু. Bindu means drop. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this ocean of transcendental mellows of bhakti is very big. No one can estimate its length and breadth, where it is starting, where it is ending. No one knows that. But just to help you test it, I am describing just but one drop. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying like that. So that drop, that means that bindu, later on what it becomes? Bhakti Rasha Amrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami has extended it to Bhakti Rasha Amrita Sindhu. What does Sindhu mean? Ocean. So that drop becomes the ocean. Ocean of what? Bhakti Ras, transcendental melos, or transcendental devotion. And Amrita means nectar. So the nectar of devotion. So that is the power of Lord or Lord's representatives. Even if they transpires the bindu or drop or indication or synopsis of the God to the heart of the devotee, if the devotee is qualified, he or she can make it like an ocean. And how Lord or his representative does that? It is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu is saying that Shiruporidaye Prabhu Shakti Sancharilo Sarvatattva Nirupane Pravino Korilo. So by entering the heart of Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to ascertain properly the conclusions of all truths. So it is the Lord who empowers the devotee, or it is the Gurudev who actually empowers the devotee. So we don't need to think about like whether we'll be able to do it or not. If we are in touch of Gurudev, if we are Sharanagata and at the lotus feet of Gurudev, we can be confident that Gurudev will take care. So many instances we see in throughout Bhagavatam, but here Narad Muni is saying that yes, your good self knows all about this. You are qualified enough of knowing this fact about Krishna. Now today's verse. So today's verse, the translation I'm again going to read. So it said that Narad Muni is saying that again, your goodness has perfect vision, amogadrik. You yourself can know the super soul. So you yourself, that is Atmana, can know the super soul, again Atmana, personality of Godhead, Paramatmana, because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord, Kalam. Although you are birthless, Ajam, you have appeared on this earth, Prajatam, for the well-being of all people, Sivaya, like this. So please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, more vividly, Adhi Ganyatam. So in this verse, if we go through the main themes of this verse, it will like go something like this, like in a conversational manner. So Vyasdev is saying that, oh, so Gurudev, you are saying that you are asking me to know that Krishna is so great and supreme. And you are actually asking me to know that Padashya of the transcendence, Pumshaha, the personality of Godhead, Paramatmanaha, the personality of Godhead. But what qualifications, what yagyata are you seeing in me? And Narad Muni is saying that simple, kalam, you are plenary portion of the Lord, and also you are amoghadrik, you have perfect vision. So then Vyasdev is saying that, okay, I accept that I can know by myself, but let me be silent. No, why are you asking me to tell this to others? Narad Muni is saying that it's a very bad option. In fact, it's not at all an option. You cannot be silent. Vyasdev is asking, why? So Narad Muni is saying 3 reasons. Ajam prajatam shivaya. Because you are birthless, still you have taken birth. So I'm going to discuss like a little bit, elaborate it as I progress through this presentation. I'm just talking about the main theme of this presentation so that it will be easier for us later on to connect it back to this theme. So 3 reasons Narada Muni is giving, that ajam, that is you are birthless, and then still you take birth, you manifest, that is prajatam, and your birth is not like normal birth. You have come here to do the welfare of all the people. Okay, so then Vyasdev said, okay, then please tell me clearly what is my duty. Then Narad Muni is saying that Adhiganyatam, describe most vividly, not less. Oh, about whom? That Mahanubhava Abhyudayaha, the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has Vishesha Parikrama. So these are the main 4 themes which is running through in this translation. Now I am going through, I'm going to go into little bit deeper meaning of this verse. So let's talk about the first part. When I talk about the first part, that means the first 2 lines of this verse. So if you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you can follow along with that. Or I have also written the 2 lines. So the first 2 lines says that Tvam Atmanam Avehi Amoghadri Padashya Pumsha Paramatmanaha Kalam. So Prabhupada ji, say here translated like this: your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know Avehi. Just focus on this, this yellow part, that can know Avehi, the super soul personality of Godhead, because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. So here, Narad Muni, so Avehi, if you notice, Prabhupada ji has translated as search out, but in the word for what meaning, but in the translation, Prabhupada ji said that can know. So what Narad Muni is asking Vyasadeva to search out? So Prabhupada ji, our Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, and most of the acharyas have taken what Prabhupada ji, how Prabhupada ji has translated. So Narad Muni is asking Vyasdev to search out the super soul personality of Godhead, or Lord's identity. But other acharyas like Jiva Goswami in his Kroma Shandarbha, and our Shripad Ballavacharya in Sri Shubodhini, they have taken a little slightly different meaning. So here, they have taken this meaning like this, that Narad Muni is asking to search out that you are the plenary portion or incarnation of the Lord. That is your identity. See, you can see the 2 different meanings. In the first case, our acharyas have taken meaning that Narad Muni is asking Vyasdev to search out the Lord's identity, like who is the Lord. And then the second meaning, like Jiva Goswami, they are saying like Narad Muni is asking Vyasdev to search out that your identity, who are you? That is, you search out that you are the incarnation of the Lord. So there's a slightly different meaning. Now let's assume Vyasdev is asking. So if I understand, if I try to search out the first meaning, if I try to search out the personality of Godhead or Lord's identity, what will be the benefit? Then Narad Muni is saying that it's simple, that if you have proper jnana or proper knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you will be successful in your endeavor, or how you will be successful in that endeavor that I am asking you to accomplish. And what Narad Muni is asking Vyasadeva to accomplish? To glorify vividly about the Lord. So if you, like already Vyasadeva knows that, but like Narad Muni is saying that when you know about the Lord, it's in such a detailed manner, that knowledge will help you to do adhiganyatam. That is to talk about the Lord more vividly. But then assume the second meaning. Then Vyasadeva is asking, okay, Narad Muni, then you're asking me to know my identity, that I am the plenary portion or the incarnation of the Lord. Then what will be the benefit if I know this identity? Then Narad Muni is saying that first, you will realize your own real nature. And when you will realize your own real nature, you will not be able to give any excuse that, oh, I am not qualified, I am not able to write Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm not capable enough of talking about Sri Krishna. What do you think? Like, are you like similar, like normal living entities? So it is true that all the living entities are the part and parcel of the Lord. You are also the part and parcel of the Lord, but there are some gradations. Your identity is special. So what is Vyasadev's position? So to talk about this, I just want to little bit touch on this part, like where Vyasadeva is standing. So this is a very simplified table. I'm not going to go very detail into it, but just to understand in the context of this verse. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatan Shiksha, we get to know like about this fact, like Krishna and his three rupas. Rupa means forms. Okay. Swayam Rupa, Tad Ekatma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is written that Bhakta, they have taken like Bhakti Vinod, like in the purport, Prabhupada has written that Bhakti Vinod Thakur's reference has been taken in this regard. So Krishna's three forms, Swayam Rupa, Tad Ekatma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. So Swayam means what? Swayam means the original personality of Godhead, that is original Krishna in his Shamsundar Rupa, Divbhuja in Golok Vrindavan. Okay, now this Swayam Rupa manifests himself into various personality. So that is called Swayam Prakasha, that is manifestations. So this Swayam Prakash can be divided into like two parts, like Prabha Prakash and Vaibhav Prakash. So what is the meaning of Prabha Prakash? Just don't please don't confuse between the Rupa and Prakash. Rupa means form and Prakash means manifestation. So here in the Swayam Rupa, Krishna is himself manifesting himself like into different personalities. So see, Prabha Prakash means the numerous forms all equal in features. Like say, for example, like Krishna in Rasha Leela. There is no difference in potency. The same Krishna who has extended himself into different manifestations, like different rupas, like the same rupa, but different manifestations. But then Vaibhav Prakash, there's little bit difference in the forms. For example, like Lord Balaram, his body color is different, Krishna's body color is different, but there is no difference in potency. But what happens in Tad Ekatma Rupa? So Tad Ekatma Rupa, the Rupa, the form is little bit different from Krishna, and the pastimes are also little bit different from Krishna. But the main difference is that difference in potency. Krishna does not manifest all the potency in Tad Ekatma Rupa. But in the Swayam Rupa, in all the Prakashas, the potency remains intact. But in the Tad Ekatma Rupa, whatever it comes, that the potency is not the same. So in Tad Ekatma Rupa, you see like Swamshaka Rupa. Swamshaka Rupa means the personal expansion. For example, like the Purushavatara, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu. And then the Bilasha Rupa, like the Mool Shankarshan. And the Bilasha Rupa means like the pastime expansions. And it can be again divided into Prabhav Bilash and Vaibhav Bilash. So Prabhav Bilash means like fully potent expansions. And we can call it like the first Chaturbuha. What is the first Chaturbuha? Vasudev, Mula Sankarshan, Aniruddha Pradyumna. But then the Vaibhav Bilash is the partially potent expansions that appear from Narayana. Like for example, like the second Chaturva, the Vasudev, Mahashankarshan, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. So this is the Ditiya Chaturva. Now it comes the Abesha Rupa. Abesha Rupa means a living entity who is specifically empowered by the Lord with knowledge, strength, or anything else. And very simply speaking, it can be divided into like Shaktavesha avatar and Vibhuti. Vibhuti means opulence. We can easily connect it to Bhagavad Gita chapter 10. Like it is like indirectly empowered reflections of the Lord, like where Krishna is saying, oh, among the demigods, I am Indra, among the Vashus, I am Agni. But Shaktavesha avatar is like directly empowered. For example, like Narada Muni, Vyasadeva. So here, Narada Muni is reminding Vyasadeva that you are not such XYZ personality. You are this Shaktavesha avatar. So here, he is saying that you realize your own identity. And when you will realize that, then you will understand your true potential. You will not be able, like you will understand your true responsibility. So that is the first reason when Vyasadeva is asking like what would be the benefit if I know that I'm the plenary portion or incarnation of the Lord. And the second reason Narad Muni is giving that when you will know that you are the kalam or the incarnation of the Lord, automatically the jnana or the knowledge of the Parashya Pumsha Paramatmana will manifest upon you. You don't need to take a separate endeavor. You don't need to go do like a lot of tapasya and everything. When you will understand, search out means when you will understand that you are the kala, it will become very easy for you. So that's what the first part is saying. But before I go to the second part, I just want to bring our attention regarding one point that Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. So Prabhupada is also saying that Vyasadeva is the empowered plenary portion. And Prabhupada is saying that Vyasadeva is not at all dependent on a spiritual master, because in essence, he is the spiritual master of everyone else. We do like, Vyasa Puja is by his name only, right? So like he's saying that. But Prabhupada is also giving the answer, like why Vyasadeva like accepts spiritual master, because he's doing the work of an Acharya. Because Acharya has taught us by his like own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself. So regarding that, many times the question comes in our mind that, oh, why do the Lord and his incarnations accept Guru? I just thought a little bit touching in this point. So the first reason is definitely what Prabhupada is saying, Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, verse 21, yad yad acharati sreshtas, that is, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So here, like if Vyasadeva or the Lord does not set up the proper standard, then the common man will be distracted. But then what is the second reason? The second reason is that Lord or his incarnations always want to exchange loving reciprocation with his dear devotees. That's why he always accepts Guru. So here we should contemplate on the fact that we all know that all knowledge is coming from Krishna. Right? There is no doubt about it. All knowledge is coming from Krishna. So this is also a true fact that even Krishna's Guru or Lord Ramachandra's Guru, their knowledge is also coming from Krishna. But then how come the same knowledge is going to Krishna in the form of initiation or going to the Lord? So we can understand it from an analogy of cloud and ocean. So like cloud, right? In the cloud is in the sky, and within the cloud, water is there. And from where the water is coming? Sea or ocean, right? And we all know the science behind it. I'm not going to go like how from the sunlight, water becomes in the form of vapor, how it goes. I'm not going into details, but in a simplified manner, you understand, right? Cloud takes water from the sea or ocean, and the water is there. And then when the same cloud overpours or like downpours the rain on on the world, on this like on the bhumi, it sometimes downpours on the same ocean or the same sea. You see what I mean? Maybe from the same sea or ocean, the cloud has taken the water and then pouring out the water in the form of rain on the same sea or the ocean. So similarly, when the spiritual masters of the Lord, they take knowledge from the Lord, Krishna or Lord Rama, whatever. So, and then in the form of initiation, sometimes they overpour or the downpours the mercy in the form of initiation, or the downpour the knowledge in the form of initiation. And literally we can see some examples of that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to like Keshav Bharati, he just little bit whispered the mantra in Keshav Bharati's ears, and then in turn Keshav Bharati repeated the same mantra in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ears. So we see many literal example and many like other kind of like indirect examples also. So here, and the second reason is that Lord really wants to exchange like loving reciprocation with the devotees. So that's why he accepts Guru. And the third reason is that Lord wants to glorify his own devotees. Like in case of like Shandipani Muni. So if you say like Shandipani Muni was, his Guru Bhakti was so good that many times his spiritual master has tested him. One time his spiritual master said that, oh Shandipani, can you please like put my heart on fire, like put my house on fire? And what we will ask, like, what Gurudev, you are asking like this? Why should I, like, if we are there, we can ask, at least I would ask. But Shandipani Mani did not question, because Gurudev has said that, and what he did, he put his house on fire. And then all other disciples, like all other disciples of Shandipani Muni's, like Shandipani Muni's god brothers, they were coming, and then they saw that the Gurudev's house is on fire. They first extinguished the fire, and then they started beating Shandipani Muni that, have you gone mad or what? Like, you have put it on fire? But he remained silent. Shandipani Muni did not say that, or Gurudev said that. And even the Gurudev did not say anything. Then he just say like, okay, leave him alone. Then many incidents happened in Gurukula. But then one time, like when his Gurudev, Shandipani Muni's Gurudev, was about to leave the world, so he called all his disciples, and all the disciples came. And then he asked every disciple that, what do you want from me? So one disciple said that, oh, I want your Kamandulu. Another disciple said that, oh, I want your chanting bag. Oh, I want your Janayu, like this. But then when he asked Sandipani Muni that, what do you want? And he said that, oh, I don't want anything. I just want your mercy. I just want to be surrendered unto your lotus feet. Your mercy or blessing is the main asset for me. And Sandipani Muni became so happy and said and blessed him that one day Lord will come to your place to take instruction from you. You will get, like, Lord will be your disciple. So that's what happened in the future, that Lord Krishna and Balaram came to Shandipani Muni's house, and they took initiation. So sometimes to glorify his own devotees also, Lord does this kind of accepts the Guru. I just thought of checking, like touching on that. And another point before I go to the second part. So in the first part, if you see, I was mentioning that Atman Atmana. So one Atmana means like the living entity, the Jivatma, and another Atmana, Prabhupada has translated as like Paramatma, or like super soul. So I just thought of a little bit, like it's basic thing, but still I just thought of like a little bit touching on the difference of Jivatma and Paramatma. So as you all know that Jivatma can be many in number, but Paramatma is always one. And Jivatma can be like divided into like Nityatma or Nityashuri, who are there in the spiritual world, who are not bound by any karma, or like Muktatma. Muktatmas are like those who are initially in this material world bound by karma, but with their sadhana, they often the spiritual world, and when they obtain the spiritual world, they become liberated and they are not under the influence of karma. And the Baddhatma, that means that who are like eternally conditioned, like in this material world. So this is from a Sri Sampradaya view, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur also gave like the very simple two types, like the Nitya Mukta, Nitya Baddha. Nitya Mukta means like eternally conditioned, eternally liberated, and Nitya Baddha means eternally conditioned. But for Paramatma, it's never like that. He is beyond this, all these Nitya Mukta and Nitya Baddhas. And the basic characteristics of Atma, if we see, it's like Ajada, that is Swayam Prakash, means like it shines by itself. Pratyak, that means it can cognize itself. It doesn't need any other tool to cognize itself. It knows that I. Yeah, like this is the Pratyak for Jivatma. And Chit, it is like sentient being. So Paramatma's, in the Atma and Paramatma is also like this characteristics, Ajada, Pratyak and Chit, but a little bit different, like Anu and Vifu. So in Jivatma, Jivatma also possesses like jnana or knowledge, and it is also jnana itself, but it's like limited. And Atma can know only about himself or herself. I can only know like I am. I, like about me. It's not that I know about who, like other people. But it's like Paramatma is not like that. It's like unlimited jnana. He can know about, he is aware about everyone. And he is like distinct from this Muktatma, Baddhatma, Nityajivas. And like Jivatmas are limited by space, time, and object. But Paramatma are not limited by space, time, and object. Jivatma is like, because he's like, they are like materially conditioned in this world, but Paramatma is like free from any doshas. Jivatma is always controlled, although Jivatma always try to say that, oh, I am the doer, I am the in charge, I want to be the proprietor, but it never happens like that. But Paramatma is like supreme controller, the creator, maintainer, and destroyer. So that's why Jivatma's Swarupa is like Paratantriyata, is that dependent, completely subservient. To whom? That Paramatma who is Swatantriya, that is like completely dependent, supremely independent. So Jivatma is like completely dependent and Paramatma is like supremely independent. So I just, because those words have come, I just thought of like touching in those 2 points. Now connecting impact to our main themes. So in the first part, what happened? Narad Muni said that you identify, you search out Lord's identity and like your own identity. Then Vyasdev is saying like, okay, I accept that I myself can know about that Parashya Pumsha Paramatmana by knowing my own identity, that is, I am the plenary portion of the Lord. But why do I need to tell this to others? So then Narad Muni is giving 3 reasons: Ajam, Prajatam, and Shivaya. He's saying that you are Ajam, means birthless. Birthless means what? Like you are not, like your birth has not taken place like other living entities. For other living entities, what happens? Like our birth, how it took place? Due to our karma. Our karma defines our birth. But for Vyasdev, it is not like that. For Lord, it's not like that. Like Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Nishiketama, it's not that their karma is deciding where they want to take birth. But for us, it is like that. So it is, that's why it is saying that it is, you are birthless. That means your birth is not like normal birth. It's like transcendental birth. So now one might ask like, oh, Vyasdev has come from like Parashar Muni and like Satyavati, but still it is not like that. Parashar Muni has created, like the birth has not like normal humanly way it has taken place. It has taken place in a transcendental way. So that's why Narada Muni is saying that you are Ajam. And then, but Vyasdev is saying that, but still I have come, right? I have taken birth, right? Then Narad Muni is saying that, yes, you have taken birth, but that is Prajatam. Prajatam means you have descended or manifested. It's not that you have taken birth. You have just appeared on this earth, or you have come from the Vaikuntha Dham. For what? For Shivaya. Shivaya means to do welfare of all people. So do you know what is your ultimate prayajana of Vyasdev? Your ultimate prayajana is to deliver the fallen souls. So Shivaya means like welfare or auspiciousness. So another meaning of Shivaya is also Shivam, Lord Shiva. So that means like who is all auspicious. And who is all auspicious? Krishna, right? So Krishna's another name is also Shiva. And where can I find it? In Vishnu Sahasranam. It is written that Krishna's another name is like Shiva. So that's why you say like no difference between Krishna and Shadashiv. But that's a different topic. But like here, Narad Muni is saying that you have descended Prajatam to do the welfare or to preach auspiciousness for in this material world, or to deliver this Jivatmas from this material world. So then Narad Muni is doing a little bit Kataksha. So if you only look at the translation, you will not be able to understand it. But it is just what I'm saying. It's based on the commentaries. So the Bal Prabodhini, it is saying that how Narad Muni is doing like a little bit of Kataksha here. Okay. So he's saying that, so see Vyasdev, you are Ajam, you are Prajatam, you have come for the Shiva, you are Amoghadrik, you are the Kalam, incarnation. So don't show your Maya. don't try to make me illusioned, or don't show your form of ignorance. We all know your real identity. You are exactly like the Lord. So please don't show that you don't know anything, or you don't show that I am not qualified. Don't show that. So actually what happens, Lord and his incarnations, and sometimes his pure devotees also, they always do like Maya. Like they always try to show that Maya. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, if we see Rai Ramananda Shangvad, where Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai that what is the Shadhya and what is Shadhana, and their conversation is going on. Then at the end, Ramananda Rai in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 8, verse 268, is saying that Pahile dekhilu tomar sonnyashi swarup, ebe toma dekhi muni shyama goparup. Ramananda Rai is saying, tell me, O Mahaprabhu, at first I saw you like a sannyasi, like a complete Vairagi sannyasi. But now I am seeing you as Shama Goparup, that is like exactly like Shama Sundar, the cowherd boy. And then Ramananda Rai is saying that, oh my God, তোমার সম্মুখে দেখি কাঞ্চন পঞ্চালিকা তার গৌর কণ্ঠে তোমার সর্ব অঙ্গ ঢাকা. But now I see you appearing like a golden doll. Your entire body appears covered by a golden luster. That Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Are you that Radharani? And then he's saying that তাহাতে প্রকট দেখ সবংশী বদন নানা ভাবে চঞ্চল তাহে কমল নয়ন. Now I'm seeing that you are holding the flute to your mouth and your lotus eyes are moving very restlessly due to various ecstasies. Like, tell me what is happening. Sometimes I'm seeing you as sannyasi, sometimes I'm seeing you as Radharani, sometimes I'm seeing you as that Nandan, that Brajendra Nandan, Krishna. What is happening? Actually, Mahaprabhu is doing the illusion. What to do? Mahaprabhu was, sometimes he was holding the flute, sometimes he was like manifesting his Radha Bhav, sometimes he was like complete Vairagi. So what to do? He does that. And many times he did that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he was very small, one Brahmana came to his place, like small Nimai, that time he was small Nimai, and the Brahmana wanted to prepared bhoga for Lord Gopal, and every time he was preparing bhoga and offering to the Lord, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming and eating that bhoga. And after 3 times, that Brahmana becomes so perturbed, like every time he was getting distressed. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, like after 3 times, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the divine vision and like showed him like what his like ultimate rupa, who is exactly he is. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that every time you are asking me, you are calling me to come to take the bhoga, and when I am taking that, you are getting distressed. What to do? So that's the way actually Lord and his incarnations do a lot of Maya, a lot of illusions. So that's why Narad Muni is saying that no, don't do this. Don't show your form of ignorance. We all know that there is no difference between you and the Lord. So fulfill your duty, fulfill your responsibility. You know, right? This Maya Mugdha Jiver Nahi Shato Krishna Gyan. This conditioned soul cannot revive their Krishna consciousness by their own effort. It is not possible. So what do? You write or you talk about that Krishna. All right. So that is the second part. Second part means the third line. Okay. Now the third part. Then when Vyasadeva seems to be a little bit convinced at this point of time, after Narad Muni's instructions, now he's saying that, okay, now please tell me finally, what is my duty? What do you think? What I should do? Then Narad Muni is saying that Adhiranyatam, describe most vividly, not less. Oh, about whom? That Mahanubhava Abhyudaya, the pastimes of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is like greater than everyone, and no one can is equal to him, who has Vishesh Parakram. So you talk about him. So like why Krishna's pastimes? So I think like I have touched on this point when I was discussing the 16th verse, when I was talking about how Krishna is Ananta Parashya, unlimited sweetness, unlimited knowledge. So I'm not going to touch on those points. I just wanted to still little bit talk about like why Krishna's pastimes in the context of this verse. We all know that Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. We all know this thing. But then another thing is that Krishna is Avatari. So we already read in Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna Astu Bhagavan Sayam. He, like, although like all the avatars, incarnations come from Krishna, but he is the source of all incarnations. And same thing in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see in the Sanatan Shiksha, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanatan Goswami that Sharva Adi Sharvamshi Kishora Shekhar Chidananda Deho Sharva Shray Sharveshar. What he is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Shuno, oh Sanatan Goswami, here, oh Sanatan Goswami, about that Sham Sundar. Who is that? That he is the original source of everything, the sum total of everything. He appears as the supreme youth, and his whole body is composed of spiritual bliss. And he is the shelter of everything and master of everyone. No, if we go back to this verse, like Madhya Lila, chapter 20, text 153. So in the same purpose, Srila Prabhupada writes very nicely that Krishna is the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas, including like Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But he is the ultimate goal of Vaishnava philosophy. Everything is emanating from him. And his body is completely spiritual and is the source of all spiritual being. Although, now Prabhupada is writing, like, although he is the source of everything, he himself has no source. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Nava Jauvanam Cha. Like, although he is the supreme source of everyone, he is still a fresh youth. So that's why actually, it is very important that we also like always discuss like Krishna's pastimes, because he is the goal of everyone. He is our ultimate prayojan. So that's why our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, how the verse goes, forgetting. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayash Tatham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upashana Vrajavadham Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Premo Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradharana Paraha. So Mahaprabhu, what Mahaprabhu is saying that what should be our goal? 5 things he has given us. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas. Who should be our Aradhya, worshipable Bhagavan? That Brajesha Tanayas, that youthful son of Nanda Maharaj. And that Brajesha Tanayas is Nanda Shuta. He is not talking about even Devaki Nandan Krishna, not talking about that Krishna who is in Dwarka, or that Krishna who is giving a very good instruction in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Not that Krishna, is talking about that Brajesha Tanayas. And how we can understand? Tad Dhama Vrindavan. So we should understand that Krishna with his Dham. And when he's talking about the Dham, he's talking about that Vrindavan. He's not talking about Dwarka. He's not talking about other things. He's talking about that Vrindavan. So that Krishna who remains in Vrindavan. And then if we still need Praman that if that Shamsundar is our Aradhya or not, then again he's saying which form we should worship? Ramya Kachit Upashana Vrajavadham. The form that our Braja Gopis have worshipped. Our Braja Gopis have worshipped that Krishna who is Vadaha Piram Natavada Vapuhu, right? So that Gopijana Vallava form is our worshipable duty. So that Brajesha Tanaya and the Vrindavan Dham and the Gopijana Vallabh form. And then the 4th thing, Mahaprabhu is saying that, and how we can get it? from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam, spotless Purana. That is our main praman or proof. And the fifth thing is that Prema Pumartha Mahan. That is the loving devotional service of that Radha and Krishna. They are that is our ultimate goal. So that's why here Narad Muni is emphasizing that you talk about that Krishna with his Vrindavan Dham, then only all the people in this material world will be delivered. No, so that's why Vyasdev got like so much inspired by this thing. So he has actually devoted 45% in Srimad Bhagavatam only about like Krishna. So now see, Bhagavad Gita is also about Krishna, but that is instructions. But Krishna and his pastimes and that esoteric pastimes like in the Braja, that have not been explained in other Puranas. In Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it has been given, but not as like Adhiganyatam, not like Samyak Rupa, not like more vividly. So if we see like how 45% is about Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, 335 chapters are there, right? So in Canto 10, 90 chapters. That is only about Krishna, we all know. Canto 11, 31 chapters. It is related to Krishna or spoken by him, like Uddhava Gita. Then Canto 1, 18 chapters, directly or indirectly related to Krishna. Canto 7, there's a reference. We are reading now in our Srimad Bhagavatam recitation. Canto 7, there's a reference to Krishna in a dialogue between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir, right? And then Canto 9, last chapter, where there's a description of King Yadu's dynasty. And apart from that, the whole Bhagavatam is about Bhakti, Bhaktas, Vishnu Bhaktas, Lord. But only that Krishna has been pervaded in Srimad Bhagavatam as like 45%, almost like 45% to 50%. Okay, so I think like those are the main themes I wanted to discuss. So this is the summary I've written in my own words, just to connect it back to the main themes. So Narad Muni asks Vyasadeva to search out both Lord's identity and his own identity. So this search out will help Vyasadeva identify his true potential and refrain him from giving any excuses of not compiling Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, even after knowing his, that is Vyasadev's own identity, if he decides to be silent, Narad Muni vehemently asserts that, no, it's not an option for you, O Vyasadeva. The reason is that Vyasadeva is birthless and just descended to do welfare of the fallen souls. And therefore, without any hesitation, Vyasadeva should talk about Krishna vividly, not in a miserly manner. So that is the summary or the main theme of this verse. And what we learn from this verse, some practical applications, is like Vyasadeva's mood. So what Narad Muni is saying that, oh, you are Lord himself. You are like the kalam of that great supreme personality of Godhead. But still Vyasadeva is so submissive. Vyasadeva is thinking that I am so unqualified. I don't know anything. And he's asking for guidance. He's not like us that if we, for people like me, if I read little bit, Sanskrit verses, little bit memorize Sanskrit verses, I feel like, oh, I have become a great devotee. But Vyasadeva is not like that. I mean, he is the bhandar, he is the reservoir of all knowledge. But he is saying that, oh, I am unqualified. Where people like me, many people, if the little bit progress in devotional service, or a little bit doing like chanting for a few months or a few years, they are like, oh, I am ready to give initiation even. I have reached that level. But Vyasadeva is not saying like this. He is showing complete humility. He is basically Shattvik Ahankara personified. What does it mean? Like when Narad Muni is saying that you are like the Lord, you are Kalam, you are the incarnation, you are the plenary portion of the Lord. So Vyasadeva is very humbly accepting that, but he's not dwelling on the fact. He's not dwelling, he's not living, oh, yes, everything like, yes, I am like the Lord. He's not saying like that. What is his mood? That, oh, Gurudev, whatever qualification or yogyata you are seeing in me, that is because of your mercy and Lord's mercy. And his mood is like, Ami to kangal Krishna Krishna boli dhai tobo pache pache. I am the most sinful, most distressed personality in this world. But my only hope is that you are there, oh spiritual master, and my Lord is there. And that's why I just, chase you so that you give me Krishna. Tomare hridaye sada Govinda Vishram. You can give me Krishna. So that is Vyasadeva's mood. So many times we ask this question like, okay, how can I understand that we are progressing in bhakti? Many times we ask, right? Okay, we have been doing chanting, we have been reading at this point of time, like we have been hearing so many things. So, but what is the parameter of like checking that we are really progressing or not? So that is the humility level. So Lal Gopal Prabhu also many times says this thing like, a tree with fruits will hang down, but others without fruits will stand straight. So if like a devotee is really progressing, really having a knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam or Lord Krishna, they will always show this humility. But this one thing is that we should not like extrapolate this humility aspect. Like we should not like misconstrue the meaning of humility. We should not think that, oh, humility means to give excuses. I'm not qualified to do anything. I'm not qualified to do chanting. I'm not qualified to take any service. I'm not qualified for initiation. Humility does not mean that. Humility means that we utilize our vivek that we get under the guidance of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And in turn, we serve the same Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra with that vivek that we have obtained from them. So that is humility. So that is why, like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Trinadapi Shunichena, Tadodapi Sahishna, that ultimate instruction, it is said that you remain humble. Don't think that you are the doer. You are the proprietor. Like everything, you will be entitled to the fruits of action. Don't think that everything is happening because of your Gurudev's mercy, because of Prabhupada, our I'm saying it in the ISKCON's context, like our preeminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and ultimately Mahaprabhu and the divine couple, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani's mercy. We should be in that mood. So that mood, I personally think that is the main kind of major takeaway from this particular verse. That is Vyasadev's mood. So with that mood of humility and with that mood of seeking your guidance, all of your guidance, so that I can inculcate humility in my life, which is very much scarce in my personality. I want to conclude here. Please be merciful at me so that I can develop this quality and I can serve all of you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I know that I've made many mistakes. Let's take some time to correct those and share your realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful presentation. You made a very beautiful connection between the Pradesha Matram and Adi Ganyatam. That is very beautiful. And the Bindu to Sindhu connection also. It's very. The analogy is how they can impart that small Bindu and the pure devotees can expand. Amazing. Very, very beautiful, Mataji. And the Adi Ganyatam also, I was meditating a little bit more on that. The vivid, right? Vivid, if you look at the English meaning, is it produces a mental picture through clear and impressive description. How Vyasadeva, when you read Vyasadev's contents, right, it produces that mental description, be it in a fifth canto of the cosmology. Of course, it's bewildering to understand it, but it gives you that mental description. Whenever Lord appears, there is so much description of his, so many beautiful ornaments, this and that. You can clearly feel that. So the Adi Ganyatam is so beautifully manifested in different places. Thank you, Mataji. I don't have any questions. It was a beautiful morning presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this, for sharing your realization, Prabhuji. That's wonderful. Anyone else has anything to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you for
Dandavat,
wonderful session, Mataji. You very thoroughly analyzed each and every word, synonyms, and give detailed explanations. Thank you, Mataji. I always enjoy your nectarian talks and giving references from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, Chaitanya Charitamrita is very sweet. And this is just my, like, I'm not qualified to say this thing, but like, Chaitanya, when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam's meanings become more clear to us. It becomes like we understand the sweetness of Bhagavatam more clearly in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because like Bhagavatam is giving the Rasgulla, right? Rasgulla, we say, it's the ras. But when you see that somebody is licking that ras, like tasting that ras, the sweetness, who is doing that, the Mahaprabhu, then you feel more pleasure. Then you have confidence. Oh, you have heard that Rasgulla is very sweet, but then when you see that somebody is enjoying and relishing that Rasgulla, then you become confident, oh no, this is really sweet. So that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita is always very sweetest, is the sweetest literature in our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. And to understand the inner meaning of Bhagavatam, this is my thing, that this my understanding is that it's very much important that we go deeper into Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, so if it's, oh sorry, I've today also have exceeded the time. Okay, so this has become the norm for me, so see, I have to work on this. Okay, so if there is no other question, I want to like conclude here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity again. I just concluded the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Jai Jai Shri Radhesha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.